Hey, there's a topic that came up in our user group recently that I wanted to discuss because I've been thinking about it myself as I've been kind of observing my own actions and behavior, and I see it in other people all the time also. And it's that concept of how organized we are on the outside may reflect how organized and disciplined we are on the inside. And I know that as I've observed, how clean my office is, something as simple as that. When I'm in a centered place, when there's not a whole lot going on out of what I normally can handle, my office is generally in good shape. There's not too much on my desk. There's nothing on the floor. The shelves are fairly organized and clean. But when I begin to experience a little bit of chaos, when that there's things going on outside of normal, is when maybe that little bit of organization or cleanliness kind of goes down the importance rung and things start getting a little bit out of place. And I noticed it. My father was just in town this past weekend, and I didn't quite have my routine the way I wanted it to be. And I'm looking around my office, and have little piles of things that I need to address. And it got me thinking, and then somebody else posted in our group about how, there's things going on in her life, and it's kind of made, she fell off the wagon a little bit, is how she put it. And I see it all the time. When someone goes into a stressful moment, they start stress eating. So it kind of appears in our body appearance and the things we do. From a health perspective, maybe we give up on working out for a little while. And even in Malcolm Gladwell's book Blink, they talked about how the value of a job interview with candidates, and how it's hard to the more time you spend with a job candidate, actually the less likely you are to be accurate with assessing that job candidate's job performance, future job performance. But a very good indicator of the person's job performance is how they live. So they sent college students to a student's dorm room that was interviewing, and they observed how they lived in their environment they lived in, and they were able to more accurately guess or predict how that candidate would, the qualities of that candidate. They were able to better predict it better than a formal job interview and spending time with that person. So, I think that, as you look around what your environment looks like, how organized are you? How orderly are you? What's important to you? I think that stuff, if we're more conscious of that, it might have the opposite effect. We might be able to actually become more organized internally if we stay disciplined and mindful on the outside. I've been doing that myself. I know, years ago, messy desk is kind of my thing, right? And I used to say, well, most intelligent people have the most messy desks, right? So, I'm kind of excusing myself saying that I'm smart. When in reality, it's just because I wasn't mindful enough to keep my desk organized. I may or may not be smart. There's people a lot smarter than me that probably have very organized desks. But that's beside the point. My point being that as I observe it, I know that when things start going out of control, when things start rolling away from me, then I notice that's when I start getting more messy. And you can probably observe it in other components of your life. Although also, it might just not be how organized you are. It might be how you handle situations. It might be how frazzled you feel, or how spread thin you feel in your mind, or how disorganized in your mind your thoughts might be. So I think that's where we turn around and lean on the important activities we have, the disciplines we have. When we go on vacation, we stop doing our healthy habits. When we get into a stressful situation where everything seems to be going wrong, those disciplines and those healthy habits start going down the list. Their priority seems to lessen. And so we say, well, everything's going wrong. Why am I worrying about this one little thing that is a simple discipline that, I'll get back to it later? And I think we don't want to do that because we want to maintain our disciplines, because those are what help us get back centered more quickly. We don't want to give up everything just because this other component of our life is out of order. And it's hard. I know I've gone through it myself, and I will go through it again in my life as things happen. Anything from illness to deaths in the family to job issues, maybe a job loss, having relationship problems. It all just seems so big. It's almost like, the guys that are smoking cigarettes in World War II, or really any war, that smoking a cigarette does not seem like a big deal when you could die in battle today or tomorrow, right? So who cares, right? But, you have to see past the current battle. You have to see past what you're currently going through, and you don't want to allow yourself to get, to adjust into an unhealthy state. So it's always important to maintain those disciplines, to try to maintain your consistency in your healthy environment around you. And I think you'll respond better to whatever situations arise that may be negative coming up in your life. It's going to happen. We're all going to have those situations. So, do what you can to try to stay as even as possible. And I feel that you will get, you'll experience those, that might still be negative, but you'll experience it in a better way. So that said, I appreciate always you watching when I jump on these live sessions. This wasn't a scheduled one. This is a quick impromptu live. So I just wanted to jump on and say hi to everybody and get this thought out there. And I want to see if anybody is watching. Did anybody have anything to say? You're welcome to comment. If you have any questions about this or anything else, please comment and I'll answer your questions. I know there's only a couple of people on right now. But no, I don't see anything, so I'm going to head off. But if you have any questions, leave some comments down below and I will come back to the video and answer for you. I hope you're having a great day. Define your day to define your life, and I will see you sometime very soon.